The door shut behind us with a quiet click. My pulse hammered. The air was heavy with anticipation. Every nerve in my body was awake. I had asked for this, and now there was no turning back. "This is what you wanted," he murmured, his breath warm against my ear. A shiver ran through me. Another presence lingered nearby, waiting. Watching my husband had made the arrangements. And tonight, I was about to experience something I'd only imagined. Before we go any further, please take a quick second to hit like and subscribe. It's super easy and helps more than, Thank you. Now, let's get started. His body pressed against mine, his breath warm against my skin, his hands moving over me with a familiar touch. I closed my eyes, trying to lose myself in it. To feel the rush, the urgency, the fire I once did, but it wasn't there. Everything was the same, too familiar. Too predictable. I knew what was coming next before it even happened. The same rhythm, the same pace, safe, reliable. But something was missing. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing myself to sink into the moment. To feel the way I was supposed to feel. But no matter how much I tried to focus, a quiet, undeniable truth kept creeping into my mind. I wanted more, I needed more. A strange pressure built inside me. Tight and restless, not excitement. But something else, something deeper. Something I had been ignoring for too long. I shifted beneath him, my breath uneven, searching for something I couldn't quite name. But no matter what I did, that empty feeling only grew. I couldn't pretend anymore. I slowed, then stopped. He hesitated, his brow furrowing slightly. "What's wrong?" His voice was quiet, concerned. My pulse roared in my ears. I had spent months pushing this feeling away, telling myself it wasn't real, that I could ignore it, but I couldn't anymore. I took a shaky breath, my voice barely above a whisper. "I love you. But I need something more." My throat tightened, something different. His eyes locked onto mine, unblinking. The air between us felt thick, suffocating. I swallowed hard, my chest rising and falling unevenly. At first I thought he hadn't heard me, but then I saw it, the flicker of something dark in his expression. His jaw tightened, his lips pressing into a firm line. "You need more," he said finally. His voice quieter than I expected. I nodded, my fingers twisting in the sheets. "Yes." His lips parted slightly, like he wanted to speak. But he didn't. Instead, he just stared at me, his expression unreadable. My stomach twisted. I had expected anger, accusations, maybe even heartbreak. But he wasn't doing any of that. He was just thinking, and somehow that was worse. Seconds passed, a full minute. My skin burned under his stare. Finally, he exhaled slowly, rubbing his jaw more. He let the word linger in the air as if testing it. "And by that you mean something different?" I swallowed again, my throat dry. "Yes." His head tilted slightly, studying me in a way that made my skin prickle. I had no idea what he was thinking, but I knew this wasn't the reaction I had prepared myself for. "How long?" he asked. Voice steady, the question caught me off guard. I don't know." His brows lifted slightly, but there was no shock in his eyes. If anything, it felt like he had been waiting for this moment, like some part of him had always known. I braced myself, convinced that this was when the fight would come. The pushback, the pain, the fallout, but instead, he just sighed, "Okay." I blinked, "Okay?" His gaze didn't waver. "Yeah, okay." Something about the way he said it made my chest tighten. It wasn't defeated. It wasn't heartbroken. It was calm, controlled. A nervous energy curled in my stomach. "So you understand," he exhaled slowly, his lips twitching at the corners. "I do." I stared at him, waiting for more. waiting for the explosion that never came. But instead of falling apart, instead of reacting the way I thought he would, he smiled, not a soft, sad smile, not a bitter one. A slow, knowing smile. And that was when I realized he wasn't just understanding. He was already thinking of a solution. Morning light spilled through the curtains. I blinked awake, my body still heavy. Was asleep, the bed beside me was empty. For a second, I thought maybe I had dreamed the whole thing. Then I heard the faint clink of a coffee cup from the kitchen. I sat up, my pulse kicking up as last night came rushing back. The confession, his reaction. That unreadable smile. I slipped out of bed, wrapped my robe around me, and stepped into the kitchen. He was already at the table, scrolling through his phone, coffee in hand, dressed calm. Completely normal, too normal. He looked up, his expression neutral. Morning, I hesitated, morning. I expected something, a shift in his face, a pause, anything to show me that last night had changed things. But there was nothing. I grabbed a cup from the counter, pouring coffee, the silence stretching between us. I couldn't take it anymore. So about last night, he set his phone down and finally met my gaze. I've been thinking. A sharp knot formed in my stomach and a pause. Then in the same calm voice, he said, I found a solution. I froze. What? He took a slow sip of coffee before answering. We're going out tonight. The chill prickled my skin. Out where I've made arrangements. The words were simple, director, but something about the way he said them sent a ripple of unease through me. My grip tightened around my mug. For what exactly? His lips curled just slightly, the same knowing smile from last night. You said you needed something more. Something different. He leaned back in his chair, his voice smooth, assured. I'm giving it to you. The room felt too quiet, too still. I searched his face, looking for some trace of hesitation. There was none. My breath caught. I had expected anger, I had expected heartbreak, but I never expected him to take charge. And now, whatever happened next, I wasn't sure if I was ready for it. The city lights blurred past the car window, neon reflections streaking across the glass. The low hum of conversation and silverware filled the restaurant around us. It was evening now. We were out just like he said we would be. I still didn't know why. I glanced across the table at him. He sat comfortably, effortlessly composed, fingers wrapped around a half-empty glass. He hadn't told me much, just that we had plans, that we were meeting someone. I had expected more explanation, but he didn't offer any, and that was the most unsettling part. I forced myself to take a slow sip of my drink, trying to settle the nervous energy curling in my stomach. Then, without a word, he glanced up. I followed his gaze, and there they were. A figure moved toward our table, steps measured, assured. My fingers tensed slightly against the chilled glass in my hand. They sat down as if this had been arranged long ago. Maybe it had. You're right on time, my husband said smoothly, tilting his glass slightly in greeting. The third offered a small, knowing smile before turning their attention to me. I was starting to think you might back out, they said, their voice light teasing. I blinked, my breath catching slightly. I hadn't even spoken yet, and already I felt caught in something I wasn't sure I could control. Before I could respond, my husband chuckled. Oh, she's here for it, he murmured, swirling his drink. She just doesn't know it yet. My stomach tightened. The conversation started light, casual, like this was just a normal evening out. But every word felt laced with something deeper, something unspoken. The third sat across from me, watching me just as much as I was watching them. There was no awkwardness, no hesitation, just waiting. I felt my husband shift slightly beside me, his fingers trailing the stem of his glass. You're awfully quiet, he mused. Voice low, I forced a breath. I didn't expect this. The third leaned in slightly. Didn't expect what I hesitated. My fingers tightening around my drink. Them, the way my husband was acting. The way I felt I didn't have an answer. It didn't take long before my husband leaned in slightly, voice smooth, deliberate. We're not staying here long. I blinked, I opened my mouth to say something, to ask if we were really doing this. But he was already signaling. The waiter, effortless, decided. A sleek black card slipped into the billfold. No discussion, no asking if I was ready. This had never been a question. Minutes later, we were in the car. The air felt heavier now, thick with something I couldn't name. The drive home was quiet, or maybe it just felt that way. I could feel them both, one beside me, one behind me, and me sitting in the middle of something I had asked for, but still didn't fully understand. Then we were there, home. My pulse kicked up as we stepped out of the car. The air outside was cooler than before, but it did nothing to settle the warmth spreading through my chest. He unlocked the door and stepped inside first. I followed, and behind me so did they. The door shut behind us with a quiet click. A deep pulse ran through me, charged electric, undeniable. The air felt heavier, thick with anticipation. My breath caught my pulse hammering in my ears. I had asked for this, his hand pressed against the small of my back, firm and steady, guiding me forward. This is what you wanted, he murmured, his lips brushing my ear, his voice a steady hum against my skin. A shiver rolled through me, every nerve on edge. The space between us was filled with something unspoken, a presence steady, assured, waiting. I turned my head, locking eyes with him. His gaze held mine, patient, composed, expectant. A slow exhale left me, my chest rising and falling in uneven waves. I barely noticed my husband's touch as it moved over me, precise, deliberate, stripping away every barrier between us, with a confidence that left no room for hesitation. Then a pause, a presence before me. I lifted my gaze, the world around me slowing. And there it was. The difference, the more. A quiet, startled breath left my lips before I could stop it. Behind me, my husband let out a low chuckle. Now you understand. Warmth spread through me, my thoughts racing to keep up with what my body already knew. I reached forward, fingertips grazing over something solid, something undeniably different. A slow, steady pulse echoed against my palm. I hesitated just for a moment. Then I leaned in. The first sensation was foreign, new, completely consuming. A deep breath, a shift. The unfamiliar becoming familiar. A low murmur sounded from above, the approval woven into it. Behind me, my husband's palm swept down my back, grounding me, studying me. Take your time, he murmured, his voice smooth, patient. There's no rush. I did slow, at first exploring, adjusting. Taking in the contrast, the weight, the difference, a deep inhale, a slow exhale, letting myself fall into it. Fully present in the moment, fingers slid through my hair, assured, controlled, letting me set my own pace. A soft sound escaped me, not just a reaction, but an understanding. Just like that, my husband murmured, his tone filled with something unreadable. You're doing well. My pulse quickened, a slow building tension curling low inside me. I wasn't just feeling this. I was immersed in it. Then a shift. A steady grip found my hips. A soft gasp left me as I was gently turned, repositioned. Guided, that's enough. My husband murmured, his voice steady but decisive. You're ready? A shiver ran through me. Sharp, undeniable. His hands moved with certainty, adjusting, me placing me exactly where he wanted. I braced myself, my palms pressing against the cool fabric beneath me. A firm touch settled at the small of my back. A reminder, a reassurance. A slow inhale, a steady exhale. The space around me felt tighter. smaller, charged with something impossible to name. Then the first shift, the first connection, a breath caught in my throat, my fingers gripping the sheets beneath me. It was seamless, measured, deliberate. A gradual pull pulling me further into the moment. Stretching the anticipation behind me, my husband let out a pleased sound, his palms smoothing over my skin. "Tell me," he murmured. "How does it feel?" A tremor ran through me. Pleasure and disbelief entwined, incredible. A deep, satisfied chuckle followed. "Good," he said. I barely had time to process the words before another touch found me. Steady, firm, assured. My pulse jumped. Then it happened. A slow breath left me, my body shifting instinctively. I was balanced between them, fully surrounded, every movement seamless, synchronized. Everything else faded, leaving only the sensation of being completely embraced. The rhythm built, not rushed. Not forced, but intentional. Deliberate, overwhelming in the best way. I let go of everything, letting them take the lead, falling into the rhythm, into the weight of the moment. A quiet, trembling breath left me, my body responding before my mind could fully catch up. The air grew heavier, each shift pressing deeper. Drawing me further in, I wasn't just lost in it. I was drowning in it. The rhythm grew stronger. The energy tightening, pulling me into something all-consuming. A sharp gasp left me, every muscle tensed. Locked in the moment, the pressure built higher. Deeper, stronger. I wasn't just overtaken, I was completely, utterly consumed. The energy surged, cresting, stretching the moment to its very limit. Then it broke. A rush overtook me deep. Undeniable, leaving me weightless in its wake. I barely registered the deep, uneven breath surrounding me as everything slowed, softened, settled. The moment lingered, stretching, keeping me suspended in pure sensation. Then silence, the world studied. My body was weightless, completely undone. The only sound left in the room was the slow, steady rhythm of our breaths. I had wanted more, and now I had everything. If your wife told you she needed more, what would you do? Would you fight it? Accept it or take control like he did? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.